mazhinji ona rugare rwauya chose chose tofara Zimbabwe yose topembera inga nhasi tofara.
Healthy habits start with a healthy smile. A happy mouth is a happy mind. Brush your teeth twice a day and visit your dentist regularly. TM campaign. Real value always. It's time for the news.
It is a beautiful evening and a warm welcome. This is a live broadcast of the Sunday edition. We're at the Hill in Pockethill Highlands, Harare, the capital city. Peaceway Jomunyika interpreting the bulletin in sign language. And I'm Leanne Bernard.
And I'm Tariro Manamike with Dorang Mube at our Montrose studios. Let's take a look at the leading stories tonight.
In our leading stories tonight, SADC and the East African community hold a meeting seeking lasting solution of the Democratic Republic of Congo's crisis.
Mavirivi Mountain in Gokwe North, the mountain associated with mysterious happenings. We explore its historical significance in Zimbabwe's liberation struggle in our This and That feature.
And our Gweru, a young innovator, develops a virtual stock-taking accounting software.
And in our Sports Buzz, Warriors in Durban, South Africa for a Crunch 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers clash.
Those are our leading stories tonight, but we start off with the main news.
Indeed, this is our leading story. SADC and the East African community hold meetings seeking lasting solution to the DRC crisis.
A joint senior officials meeting between the Southern African Development Community, SADC, and East African Community, EAC, took place in Harare this Sunday to discuss strategies for achieving a lasting resolution to the ongoing conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC.
Our meeting will consider the EAC SADC joint roadmap. The roadmap details immediate, medium, long-term implementation plans for our mechanism. I call upon member states to commit to the financing of this mechanism to ensure that it is operational and delivers its mandate for a lasting peace and security in our regions. Distinguished colleagues, our efforts should continue to be guided by the UN Security Council Resolution 2773 of 2025, which states that, I quote, among others, there can be no military solution to the situation in Eastern DRC, close quote. We, therefore, underline the need for inclusive dialogue, given that it is only through dialogue that the underlying causes can be resolved and trust fostered between the belligerents.
Co-chair from the East African Community, Brigadier General Edward Rugendo, highlighted the importance of regional cooperation in bringing peace and stability in Eastern DRC.
Dear delegates, as we navigate the complexities of the situation in Eastern DRC, our unity and cooperation will remain our greatest strength. It is therefore important that we approach our engagement with open minds, a spirit of collaboration, and a firm resolve to advance sustainable solutions.
The meeting was convened as part of the implementation of the directive by the joint SADC-EAC summit that was held last month to convene the ministers of the two blocs to deliberate on and address other residual issues relating to the attainment of sustainable peace and security in the Eastern DRC and make appropriate recommendations to the next joint summit, among other issues. John Nandara, ZBC News, Mount Abden.
African countries have reaffirmed their commitment to addressing gender inequalities and the protection of women and girls against all forms of abuse and discrimination. And now this emerged at the ongoing Commission on the Status of Women in New York. Memory Chamisa filed that report.
The meeting, which took place at the African Union building in New York, deliberated on ways to explore innovative financing mechanisms, including domestic financing in member states, and strategies to address gender-based violence and harmful practices on women and girls. Some of the ministers highlighted the significance of multi-stakeholder partnerships in mobilizing resources and expertise to tackle these complex issues.
It's not about getting the numbers in parliament, the numbers of female in parliament or in cabinet. Well, how we're using our voice and agency to be able to change the narrative. How we're able to support each other. How do we take our women along with us? Women at the grassroots level.
Zimbabwe's Minister of Women Affairs, Community, Small and Medium Enterprises Development, Senator Monica Mchangwa, highlighted the progress African governments have made, Zimbabwe included, noting the need for sustainability in the gains recorded.
It is imperative for African nations and UN women to develop a strategy to confront these setbacks. We must intensify efforts to sustain the gains of the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action. As member states, we should also harness domestic resources. While UN Women guides the establishment of a financial ecosystem to secure international funding for gender equality and women empowerment initiatives, as countries, it is important to make sure that we really go higher in terms of the gear for domestic resource mobilization.
In a landmark moment for gender equality and the empowerment of women and girls, the Commission on the Status of Women has adopted a political declaration marking the 30th anniversary of the historic Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action. This adoption reinforces a global commitment to accelerating progress towards gender equality, particularly in the face of persistent and emerging challenges related to gender equality. Memory Chamisa, ZBC News, New York.
Back home, Manicaland province is targeting to harvest over 360,000 metric tons of maize this season, buoyed by the success of the Pfumvudza program.
The uptake of the Pfumvudza Ntwasa program is expected to be key in ensuring food security, with Tondera Ngirande from village 13 in Mutare North among farmers with the best maize crop in his community. Ngirande fully utilized his father's 5-hectare plot before securing additional land from other villagers to plant 11 hectares of maize and 1 hectare of tomatoes, among other ventures that include livestock rearing, poultry production and a huge rabbit project.
Takarima chibage chiri pa 11 hectares idzodzo, and pa 11 hectares idzodzo tiri kukarira kuwana gora kakwana nekutungamirwa kwetiri kuita newadhumeni wedu nesupport yatiri kupiwa nakansela pamwe chete na MP. Mainputs wakatipa, we managed to utilize land yedu, and then toda kutendawo na president wedu nekuti tsigirane chirongwa chekuti iwe self-sufficient pachikafu chedu.
Agriculture experts also spoke on the importance of soil testing and the adoption of Pfumvudza Ntwasa program in realizing high crop yields.
Chatinokurudzira kuvarimi kuitira kusimudzira goho ravo ndechekuti vanofanira kutanga nekusarudza mbeu yakanaka, vanofanira kuita land preparation in time, vanofanira kutora ivhu ravo richinoongororwa kuti vabatsirikane panhau yekuvava nekutapira.
Chibage chamuri kuona apa chakarimwa under Pfumvudza. Isu sehurumende yematunhu tinopiwa mbeu nemafertilizer yekupa varimi kuti varime. Now tauya panapa nhasi tiri kuona mufananidzo webasa rakabatwa zvakanaka.
The Ministry of Agriculture is convinced that the province will achieve more than 360,000 metric tons, largely driven by the success of the Pfumvudza Ntwasa program and productivity by large-scale farmers.
Looking at the whole province, we are seeing that we have produced 274,000 hectares of maize. Those that are planted in the province. And we are looking forward to harvest more than 360,000 metric tons of grain. And if we have these young farmers doing well like this, we are going to be good in the province.
Nationally, the country is targeting to produce 2.7 million metric tons of maize this season. Kenya's Vision, ZBC News, Mutare.
The ZANU PF-led government continues to ensure communities have access to essential services, with the people of Gutu being the latest to benefit under the Presidential Medical Outreach Program. Let's hear more.
The people of Gutu Central had an opportunity to access free healthcare services and receive training on first aid under the Presidential Medical Outreach. Beneficiaries of the program thanked President Emerson Mnangagwa and his administration for ensuring no place is left behind in accessing healthcare services.
Na baba Mnangagwa tapua mapilisi mahara tichirapwa mahara.
Vanhu vari kupiwa mishonga pachena vachibvunza zvavanoda vachipindurwa zvavanoda nana chiremba.
Kwezvino izvi kana munharaunda matakagara kana munhu akaita dambudziko handichatangi kutora nguva kumanya kuchipatara takutanga taagadzisa dambudziko panzvimbo izvozvo nokuti takuzvigona.
Minister of State for National Security, Honorable Lovemore Matuke, who is also ZANU PF Politburo member, and area legislator, Honorable Winston Chitando, noted that community members must take advantage of empowerment programs implemented by government.
Afara kuti panapa parapiwa vanhu vakawanda, more than 700 varapiwa pachena vachipiwa mishonga yavo. Maprogramu apresident akawanda mukatarisa. Tine ma-irrigation madiki ari kuitwa mumavillage ekuti vanhu vakwanise kuzviriritira vachiita mabizinesi avo munzvimbo dzavanogara. Tine maprograms akafanana nembudzi nemombe.
Chiitiko chanhasi muono wapresident we-2030. 2030 inotsigirwa nezvinhu zvakawanda. Nyaya yemagesi, nyaya yedzidzo, nyaya yemigwagwa, nyaya yemvura.
The Presidential Medical Outreach Program will continue benefiting rural communities across the country.
Response yaitika kwa Gutu vanhu vauya in large numbers tatraina vanhu vanosvika ku300 for first aid training, and uyezve queue rekurapwa vanhu rikachangoreba. Vanhu vari kurapwa vari kuonekwa nemadoctors vachipiwa mishonga zvabatsirwa naminister wedu wachitando.
Apart from medical outreach programs, government is implementing various programs to strengthen the health sector through establishment of clinics, hospitals, procurement of health equipment, and training of more medical personnel. Ms. Martina, ZBC News, Gutu.
The construction of low-cost facilities in Chimanimani has become a game changer in improving access to quality education, particularly to the girl child. Now we get the details in the upcoming report.
The drive to promote access to quality education in rural areas is gaining traction, with the government commissioning low-cost boarding facilities at Makwe and Nima secondary schools in Chimanimani. The local communities are grateful for the intervention, which is not only affordable, but has come as a major relief to children who were traveling more than 10 kilometers to school.
Kuiswa kwe low cost boarding kwakatibatsira zvakanyanya. Reti panapa pachikoro panapa ku low cost boarding tiri kubhadhara $37 pamwedzi.
Tiri kuona zviri kutibatsira zvakanyanya nekuti mari dzetiri kubhadhara hadzina kuwanda.
Most of the people vari kutobenefita kuno are from my place, from Saurombe. They used to travel something like about 10 kilometers to and from maybe about 20 kilometers a day.
Education authorities and development partners believe low-cost boarding facilities are a critical investment which have not only improved access to education but also reduced the dropouts at the two schools.
Chikwakwa chamuri kuona ichi chiri kutibatsira chaizvo, chiri kuaccommodata vana vanokwana kuita 59.
The girl children were dropping out. The girl children were being abused, particularly sexually. Tiri kunzwa kufara nekuti access mu district medu, particularly in this community, yanaka.
Pano ndepandima pakashandiswa yatingati $170,000 kuvaka structure zvamuri kuona izvi. Neizvi tichada kuita futi solar system.
Manicaland Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Advocate Mishek Mgadza, pledged the government's commitment to improve access to quality education.
Kuona boarding facilities ari pano, two boarding facilities kavakwa through kubatana kwehurumende departments of government matinoti ma-stakeholders edu, ma-NGO. Vana vanga vari kufamba rwendo rwakati kure kuti vasvike pachikoro, zvichizokonzeresa kuti vamwe vatadze kusvika kuchikoro, vamwe vachigara munzvimbo dzisina kumira zvakanaka. Chiri kunyanya kutifadza papurogiramu ipanapa ndechekuti vana vari kutichwa kuva self a self-sustainable way of living involve kuti pari kurimwa, pari kuchengetwa huku, pari kuchengetwa fish, but at the same time vachiwana mukana wavo wekudzidza zvakanaka zvisina disturbance.
Government is targeting to construct over 120 schools this year as part of strides to improve access to education. Kenya's Chivuje, ZBC News, Chimanimani.
And are still highlighting on the education sector. Government says it is focused on providing and promoting quality, inclusive and relevant education, including the procurement of learning and teaching materials for rural learners.
Inclusive and quality education is one of the Second Republic's major focus, and as part of efforts to ensure the realization of the aspiration, government this Saturday distributed learning and teaching material to Kamwa Primary School in Gokwe North. The learners and parents could not hide their joy.
Toda kutenda hurumende yedu yativigira mabhuku ekuverenga kuti tigokwanisa kupasa bvunzo zedu grade 7.
Takutenda minister wedu atirangarira kuti kune vana kuna Kamwa vakativigira zvinoita kuti dzidzo yedu iwane kuenda mberi. Vana vanga vasina mabhuku ekuverenga. Saka tiri kutofara nematextbook kureva kutoti vana vachapasa usingaiti
zvichava kuti fundo yavo ienderere kumberi uye vadzidze zvakanaka nokuti vanga vasinganyatsi kuona zvakakwana pakudzidza kwavo.
Kwanga kuine kwakusarira kakanyanya. Sisi takutotarisira kutoti neshungu dzichaitwa nevabereki neshungu dzichaitwa nevadzidzisi pamusoro pezvikwanisiro zvimwe zvavatopiwawo zvavanga vasina zvichaita pamwe zviite kuti zvisimudzire pasi rate dzevana vedu.
Kamwa Primary School head Mr. Silence Ruzive appreciated government's inclusive agenda.
Vatibatsira nezvinhu zvakafanana nematextbooks ekuverenga chinova chinhu chinoita kuti mwana akwanise kuva nechido chokuverenga achinzwa zvinonakidza zvaanenge achiverenga kubva mumalibrary books mune nhau nezvimwe zvakasiyana nengano zvese zvinenge zvirimomo. Mwana anova nechido chokuverenga nokuti anenge achinzwa nyaya ichinda kwainoenda nekwainoperera.
Primary and Secondary Education Minister Honorable Tolerai Moyo emphasized government's commitment to strengthening the education sector.
We are going to have positive results in terms of attendance, in terms of pass rate. We are going to realize a lot of positive impacts as a result of the interventions that the government is giving to the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education. And also of importance are the computers that we are going to distribute to the school. The computers will help our teachers in terms of attaining and implementing the heritage-based curriculum, which emphasizes the issue of innovation.
Meanwhile, girls from both primary and secondary schools in the area were given reusable sanitary wear, an initiative aimed at ending period poverty amongst adolescent girls. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Gokwe.
The ZANU PF leadership has issued a strong call for unwavering unity and vigilance across all party structures from the cell level to the national stage. This came out during various provincial coordinating committee meetings held in various provinces over the weekend.
Addressing a special Mashonaland West ZANU PF Provincial Coordinating Committee meeting in Chinoi this Saturday, Politburo member Comrade Ziyambi said National People's Conference resolutions should not be used as an excuse to divide the party.
We are now being used by the enemy to be a mouthpiece yekutaura kuti isusu tidividike ivo vatonge. So my comrades, if as a party tikange taita decision chero wanga uchida zvekuti heki you are the number one defender of that decision that you didn't like for as long as taiwirirana muno.
Comrade Ziyambi also warned the media against using their platforms to disturb national peace, calling for responsible journalism in line with national constitutional rights.
Patigera apa ukaona uchitumira zvima message zvinoinsaita kuti hana dzevanhu dzirege kugadzikana une mosha. Vanhu vanofanira kugara vakadekara achiziva kuti mangwana ndichamuka ndichienda kubasa.
Mashonaland West ZANU PF Provincial Chairperson Comrade Mary Mliswa Chikoka and Politburo member Comrade Webster Shamu emphasized the need for unity of purpose in the party.
Saka izvozvo zvokufunga kuti munhu anenge achitukirira pamagrupu achitaura zvaanoda against president, we will not tolerate that.
Iye zvinezvi taakugona kuziva panenge pabva zvinokandwa musocial media. So pokuwanda hapasisina.
Party members who attended the meeting also thanked President Emmerson Mnangagwa for implementing various inclusive developmental programs, chief among them being allocation of land and housing stands to the Youth League under the Munumtapa Land and Housing Scheme.
The ZANU PF Mashonaland East leadership said while the Revolutionary Party has embraced the use of technology, it has to be used responsibly as members who are abusing social media risk being expelled.
As part of efforts to curb acts of indiscipline committed by party members through social media platforms, the party has come up with a social media policy. The draft has been presented to the Politburo for further scrutiny before approval.
Chirwere chapinda mumusha, chirwere che social media, its usage and abuse. Tirakidze hunhu hwedu zvaakuuya zviri kuzvarwa netsika dzekune dzimwe nyika, handi tsika dzedu. Ngatigare netsika dzedu dzinoti mukugumisira kudza baba naamai kuti mazuva ako awedzerwe. Zvinoita kuti tifambe zvakanaka tichienda kwatakanzi tiende in terms of vision 2030.
Chatinoda ndechokuti Mashi East ive province yakasimba, ive province inokudza utungamiriri, ive province ine gwara romusangano. Ndo zvatinokana yedu province ikasimba, dzimwe province dzikasimba, ZANU PF muZimbabwe inenge yasimba.
ZANU PF has already crafted a social media policy meant to guide its members. The ZANU PF PCC meeting held in Mutare this Sunday saw the party leadership reiterating its continued loyalty to the leadership of President Emmerson Mnangagwa, emphasizing the importance of unity and loyalty within the party.
Constitution yedu bumbiro remutemo wedu weparty unotikurudzira kuti tinofana kuita loyal to ZANU PF and the leadership ichitungamirirwa naMnangagwa. Isu tinodayira kuti utungamiri hwavo ngaurambe uripo, uzadzise upedzise zvawakatanga. Zvino isu chatinondoda kuti tiite kupersuada pressure kana kuti zvetiri kuita kupersuada kunyengerera waMnangagwa kuti wabvume chete.
Manicaland Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Advocate Misheke Mugadza, outlined the developmental projects that are being spearheaded under the leadership of President Mnangagwa.
President vakazona zvakakonzera kuti bhodha reFox riitwe revamped. Zvirongwa zviriko gore rino zvatakatarisira kuti gore rino zvimwe zvichapera by mid-year, zvimwe zvinopera by year. Tine Christmas pass bypass, tanetseka neChristmas pass marori ari kudonha pamona vakatikonfemera kuti gore rino chiri kutangwa manje maprocesses ese akaitwa, mapepa akufinance kuti pambononzi chekupedzisira ga tobva tatanga kuvakirwa Christmas pass bypass road.
Meanwhile, ZANU PF Veterans League Manicaland Provincial Chairperson Comrade Linda Matatu revealed that all veterans in Manicaland Province are appreciative following the start of the empowerment funds distribution and singing of solar-powered balls.
Addressing party members in Blah this Sunday, ZANU PF Politburo member Comrade Elifasi Mashava emphasized the critical need for discipline, loyalty, and selfless service.
Comrades, we gather here to address the unapologetic need for continued unity of the party at all levels of the structures down to the cell and villages. His Excellency the President and the First Secretary of the party, Comrade Dr. E.T. Mnangagwa, and the leadership in its entirety urge all of us to always serve our party selflessly with unflinching consistency, discipline, and loyalty.
Party members were urged to shun factionalism.
The need for discipline cannot be overemphasized. As leaders in the party, we must be at the forefront of shunning factionalism. Any rogue elements within our ranks colluding with our enemies must be confronted head on. We will not watch a few rocky elements in the party sowing seeds of divisions amongst members and insulting our leadership.
Meanwhile, the meeting also served to solidify the province endorsement of the resolutions from last year's National People's Conference.
And now from the capital, it's time to cross over to our Montreux studio where Dora Ngube is on standby to take us on. Dora, it's over to you.
Thank you so much, Leanne and Tari. A lovely evening to you and a lovely evening to our viewers. I do hope you had a lovely weekend and are ready for the new week ahead. And still on Sunday edition, business and industry leaders have welcomed government's move to conduct a comprehensive regulatory impact assessment, RIA, aimed at addressing bottlenecks that have historically hindered business efficiency and competitiveness. More from the following report.
The government's regulatory impact assessment, which will be undertaken through the National Competitiveness Commission, aims to systematically evaluate the potential economic, social and environmental effects of existing and proposed regulations. The initiative's potential has been lauded by industry leaders.
We have always advocated for streamlining of these processes to make them seamless and more easy. We are likely to have a lot of downstream benefits in the sense that this will encourage all informal businesses to formalize their businesses.
Labour laws should be reassessed to reflect the evolving dynamics of the workforce, particularly the rise of remote and gig economies. Additionally, simplifying compliance requirements for SMEs is crucial, as these enterprises are the true economic drivers and job creators. We must also consider the need for more predictable tax structures that encourages businesses to invest in development and manpower instead of merely focusing on profit maximization.
Economic analyst Mr. Stevenson Lamini highlighted the broader economic implications of the assessment.
It is just beyond just cutting red tape. It goes towards linking or transforming the economy and improving the way business and government relate. It is one policy well implemented could see our GDP improving by 1.2 to 2% annually.
The Minister of Industry and Commerce, Honorable Mangaliso Ndlovu, reaffirmed government's commitment to the regulatory impact assessment.
We will be going through each ministry and we'll be coming up with recommendations on how we can streamline, how we can lower certain fees and licenses. Ultimately, we cannot be, from a government perspective, be the major contributors to the cost of doing business.
The implementation of the regulatory impact assessment is expected to yield tangible benefits, fostering a more transparent and predictable business environment that will accelerate the nation's progress towards an upper middle income economy by 2030. Ilandmoy, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
South African travel agents have concluded a familiarization tour of Zimbabwe, expressing profound satisfaction with the country's tourism offerings.
The South African travel agency experienced firsthand the highlights of Zimbabwe's tourism sector. Following their 3-night familiarization tour, the agency are now poised to promote Destination Zimbabwe with a particular focus on Victoria Falls. In an interview with ZBC News in Victoria Falls, the agency conveyed their enthusiasm for the country's natural beauty and hospitality.
Back home, I'll say, please make a plan and get as soon as possible to this country and experience the magic of it. And the people, it's not just the view, it's not just the hospitality, it's the local people as well, and how warm they are, how generous they are, that I've been blown away by my experience so far.
People have to come to experience the fall. It's a beautiful place to be. And as an operations manager for Tourvest, I am happy to go and share the knowledge back home and bring more tourists back to Zimbabwe.
I must say Vic Falls is a magnificent place. So much to offer in terms of variety, game viewing, water activities. We can't wait to send our clients here and show them what Vic Falls has to offer.
South Africa remains Zimbabwe's largest source market of tourists, making the familiarization tour critical to strengthening ties and boost visitor numbers. In 2023, Zimbabwe welcomed over 300,000 international tourists, with approximately 20% originating from South Africa. Tichao Nakurewa, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
The construction and completion of the new registry offices in Binga is set to provide a major boost to locals seeking critical national documents.
Travel documents are not only a constitutional right, but are also important for many citizens. For Binga people who were traveling either to Hwange or Lupane for the service, having such a facility in their backyard will be a crucial intervention by government.
vakonzera kuti titore mapasipoti afwifwi kuchita kuti zitokwanise kutita tokonzi kuenda kuyakulepeura kwa mapasipoti kuri mburi kubulawayo mari dzakona zirakatazi atova accommodation ngairasho registry yacho chipatiro chitikumbira chakuti watu kwasvikana ndozive mburi mapasipoti takonzera kuti twaboda out kwakoda zvintu mburi kuzambia atokwasikana kapatiro
twabenefita kapatiro kombodonzera ikwenda kuti kukupegwa mapasipoti dhuze katotakwe makosti ngitulawo pengitujana kuenda kuti muri mutu ari kuenda kumabulawayo oku wari kututorera mari nyingi
imazuva akainda vantu vari kuenda misinzo yavaya kulupane yavaya kuwange uyojana zintu zimbi mumabirth certificates mapassports and so on but tulachonze kuti aya maoffices ayakwa amana mbuli lino ali kuyawa tulachonze kuti amana vantu vazobagwasikako.
The Second Republic continued rolling out services to communities at their doorstep. Last year, government opened up passport offices in Hwange amid joy from locals. In Cholocho South, construction of a registry sub-office is also underway.
Elupane sesithathisa izithupha sokuthathwa amapassport eHwange sokuthathwa amapassport lezithupha lebhinga lakho kade sikuyakhiwa iregistry ihofisi ezabe ithathisa izithupha ithathisa amapassport eCholocho kuyathathwa izithupha lakwinye abafuna ukuyakha enkunzi eCholocho South so sabe eCholocho sabe zile 2 ama-registry ukuthi kwabantwana babethatha izithupha eduzana ama-birth lama-passport.
Matabele North now boasts of many national priority projects which enhance people's socio-economic well-being. Some key ones include the Kwai Shangani Lake, Hwange Unit 7 and 8 expansion project, and the Bube Lupane irrigation scheme. Mhlomuli Ncube, SABC News, Binga.
Jairos Jiri was a Zimbabwean pioneering philanthropist and founder of the Jairos Jiri Association, a non-profit organization dedicated to supporting and rehabilitating people with disabilities. In our I'm an African feature tonight, we look at the life of the philanthropist who has had an indelible impact on the lives of many.
Born in 1921 in Bikita, Jairos Jiri was deeply influenced by his Christian faith and a strong sense of compassion for vulnerable individuals. Witnessing the struggles faced by people with disabilities in his community, he resolved to make a difference. In 1950, Jiri established the Jairos Jiri Association, laying the foundation for a lifelong mission to improve the lives of people with disabilities. The Jairos Jiri Association provided essential services such as shelter, food, medical care, and vocational training to individuals with physical, mental, and sensory disabilities. Beyond direct assistance, Jiri was a passionate advocate for the rights and social inclusion of people with disabilities in Zimbabwean society. Jairos Jiri's unwavering dedication earned him widespread recognition, including the prestigious United Nations Prize in the field of human rights in 1983, International Symposium on Rehabilitation awarded in Kampala, Uganda in 1975, Lions International Service Award in 1977, and the Humanitarian Award from the then Salisbury Union of Jewish Women in 1977, among others. Though he passed away in 1982, his legacy endures, and today Jairos Jiri Association continues to provide life-changing services to people with disabilities across Zimbabwe, ensuring that his vision of dignity, empowerment, and inclusion lives on.
And indeed, so many years down the line, many lives are still being impacted. And with that, Sunday edition takes a break. Thereafter, we take you back to the team at Pocketsville for more news. To stay with us.
Strong stroke of genius. Introduce the stroke of genius. Oh, Zimbabwe yakuzosumuka manje. Stroke of genius andiri kureva chera. President E.D. Mnangagwa vari kupa mabankable, registrable and transferable title deeds na every farmer akapuwa munda pa land reform program. Takanga takapuwa minda asi takanga tisina simba rekupinda mumabhengi semama business kuti tipewo maloni akachipa tatakuwara nezvimbazo man. Zvino ne stroke of genius yekupuwa matitle deeds tumupinduke mubhengi sevamwe tutupuwa maloni takutodevelopa mafamu.
Saka kuduza kuti land ese yatone value.
Ende ukapuwa title deed iroro chera. Mundu wako uchatoreki yatova nhaka yevazukuru nevazukuru. Ndo zvinoda fama manje izvozvo. Security of tenure.
Iwe pandiri panapa ndakutokwanisa kutopa vana nhaka kuti chidimu chako ichi chemunda chidimu chako ichi.
Exactly.
Zvichifambiswa sei?
President E.D. Mnangagwa igenius manje. Vakabva vati kuti zvinyatsofamba negwara rakatwasanuka zviri transparent. Ndobva vagadza inonzi Land Tenure Implementation Committee iri kushanda nemumapazi ehurumende.
Alright. But you unozviziva iwo kuti kune land barons akazara ukanopamba minda dzevanhu.
Dai vatoregera zvavo. Ndiyo kopo usiri kudiwa na President Mnangagwa iroro. Ndio saka Land Tenure Implementation Committee yakati ngatishandisei ma-ID numbers, number dzepachitupa kuti munhu haakwanisi kuva nemafamu maviri. Plus Land Tenure Committee haisi kupa minda patsvayo. Iri kutwasanudza pakupiwa kwema-title deeds.
Alright. Iwe saka zvichireva kuti taatoprotected kasei mavarimi.
Exactly manje.
Ukaziva
kuti une stroke of genius here. President E.D. apa vasikira vana veZimbabwe upfumi.
Welcome to a new era in tobacco farm. The Tobacco Industry and Marketing Board, TIMB, has rolled out the biometric grower management system to protect every genuine tobacco grower. With this innovative technology, only you can verify your identity for account adjustments, input collection, stop orders, and insurance. You also get support and payments without delays. Biometrics offer you security, efficiency, and transparency. Why wait? Visit the nearest TIMB office now with your national ID. We will capture your fingerprints and link them to your grower number. You can also register at tobacco selling points as you sell your tobacco. It's fast and it's easy. We guarantee that your biometric data is protected and will only be used to improve the tobacco industry database and processes. Our offices are in Harare, Butare, Lusape, Murandera, Bindura, Karoi, Mvurwi, and Chimbui. Visit the office nearest to you, get your fingerprints captured, and secure a thriving future for the tobacco industry. Register your fingerprints. Secure your future. Grow with confidence.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. The Mavirivi Mountain is one of the popular geographical features in Gokwe North District, lying between Gokwe Center and Mutora Business Center, which will host this year's Independence celebrations next month. In our This and That feature tonight, our Midlands Bureau Chief, Tafara Chikumira, explores the origins of the name of the mountain, formerly known as Mafungauti Platoon, and is believed to have been popularized during the War of the Liberation Struggle.
The proverbial phrase, "What's in a name?" attributed to Juliet in the play Romeo and Juliet, sounds like a cliché, as it simply means names are arbitrary, as they are regarded to be a mere label which do not mean much, as they might mean an opposite to the object named after it. However, more often than not in an African setup, names are usually associated with subject or might have a meaning to the natives of the place, or a major incident that might have occurred at a particular area. Formerly known as Mafungauti Platoon Mountain, due to the smoking nature of the geographical feature, legend has it that the name Mavirivi, from a Shona term Kuviringika, loosely meaning confusion, was only given to the mountain due to the mysterious happenings that were witnessed in the mountain that confused and ultimately led to the defeat of the white settler regime.
watori njizwana wachima ni pachwa njikweni chemunomguke chipapa muzikwanganka nokumtwasanga ipapa dzasiyana siyana ipapa chipacho vanoira ipapa nichiritso resangu dzinorira pachwa chikwedu
Kalahala village head Mr. Paul Kalahala spoke about the mystery associated with the mountain.
Takangwana kumavhiri vandike tizoenda kuchikoro wadzigombe anonzi mafunga uzi plateau ande asi pano pamavhiri rwizi ande remusvina unoera mvura isingaperi saka during ceasefire ndopakazonotirawo mamerisha isi atakurawo manje tatomboenda kuchikoro kazodisturbawo tichidza panyasa ndiko kuziva kwangu gomera ichinzi pamavhiri pane mvura isingaperi panoera paitowanikwa makarwe singazivi kuti achiri kuwanikwa here.
Although there is no proper and academically approved research, mysterious stories associated with Maverick Mountain remain folklore, though they might bring some insights to those willing to pursue the research behind the naming of the geographical site. Tafara Chikumira, ZBC News, Gokwe.
A young innovator from Gweru, Daniel Chifamba, has developed an accounting software that enables companies and retailers to conduct a stock taking virtually. Our science and tech feature tonight.
While the pen and paper method for stock take is popular for many businesses, it is extremely tedious and laborious. Spreadsheets and other computer documents are also highly prone to entry errors. It is in this regard that a young innovator, Daniel Chifamba, has developed an accounting software known as New NIDA Stock Control Software. The software, which employs real-time tracking and uses a server to store information, is a combination of basic electronics and coding.
This software inoita like management my products are shop, right? So like a user anokwanisa pane user anotengesa shop and then anokwanisa kuadd my products in stock and so apapa inompa like every information yaanoda kuti akwanise kuadd ma products kana kutengesa and then vanhu vanoaccessa inonzi product iyi anga vano assigniwa na admin and admin ndiye anoti iwewo ndiwe unokwanisa kushandisa ma credentials ako then username password blah 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 and so admin ndiye and almost access everything then user is just opportunity yekungotengesa then nema notifications what saka stock yacho inenge ichi-update in real time toti maybe tine 10 kana watengesa 3 yobva ya-update ikoko then uku inenge yatonyora zvinhu.
With the software, minimum and maximum levels for each product can be set in the system.
Usually vanoita zvekunyora mabhuku and kuti tatengesa chakati you have to write it down and tatengesa 2 subtract and so this one takungozvisa automatically and apo pa yango subtracta yega yobva yakupa like a general report then ukatotengesa inobva yakupa inonzi receipt kuti yeah this is your receipt watengesa mari yakati then at the end of the day inobva yakudza kuti alright total for today you sold maybe kana $300.
The software offers a variety of features to provide businesses with tools they need to efficiently manage their operations. Karejushe, ZBC News, Shishawane.
From our science and technology feature to our Sunbiz, where Zimbabwe's banking sector is in talks with multilateral financiers to mobilize more credit lines for on-lending to productive sectors of the economy at affordable or concessionary rates.
Information gathered by the ZBC News indicate that most local financial institutions are already in talks with external partners in a move that is expected to mobilize over $500 million in offshore credit lines this year.
These productive sectors require funding, and if we cannot be able to provide funding locally, we then go out. Sometimes it's expensive, sometimes it's even more better than, less expensive than local funding.
without those credit lines, it means we are not able then to finance the economy. So that's the significance of, being able to mobilize, to draw credit lines.
Young Miners Foundation Chief Executive Officer Mr. Payne Kufua believes that the availability of cheap loans is vital for the recovery and growth of the economy.
It gives us an opportunity to actually boost the efficiency gains, which is to boost production. Traditionally, it has been difficult for financial institutions to actually finance small-scale mining. But of course, if we get access to cheap loans, it's going to help us to actually develop small scale to even medium scale, which is going to create employment for graduates who are coming in for the Zimbabwe School of Mines and from other institutions who have done programs in the mining-related programs.
Zimbabwe's banking sector is being described by monetary authorities as safe and viable for future investments and continues to play a pivotal role in mobilizing funds for industry and commerce. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
Sunday edition is off to a break. Don't go away. Stay with us. A warm welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. We dive straight into sports buzz. The Zimbabwe national football team, the Warriors, are in Durban, South Africa, ahead of their 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers against Benin.
A contingent of locally based players including Kamabilia, Mtokozi Msebe, Peter Modoa, Godnos Murwira, Timon Machope and Walter Msona departed this Sunday. Other local players are named in the squad such as Ishane Sumauchi of Simba Bora, Mo's goalkeeper Martin Mapisa and Dynamo's captain Emmanuel July also made the trip. The Warriors will face Benin on the 20th of March at the Moses Mabhida Stadium in Durban before traveling to Uyo, Nigeria to face the Super Eagles 4 days later. Richard Hachiro, the Ngeze Platinum Stars midfielder, has replaced the captain Marvelous Nakamba, who suffered a recurrence of his calf injury over the weekend. The return of Knowledge Msona is a significant boost to the team.
We have a couple of experienced players. Knowledge, definitely one of the players with the most experience. And he will boost definitely our options, and with his football skills, with his character, he will definitely add value to the team.
Having Knowledge, it's a great motivation. With his experience, and to have worked with him already, it feels great. It has been a long time we're waiting for him, and finally he's here.
The Warriors were last in action in November last year when they sealed their place at the 2025 CAF Africa Cup of Nations scheduled for Morocco. Zimbabwe is currently bottom of Group C in the race for the expanded 48-team World Cup, scheduled to be co-hosted by Canada, Mexico and the United States. The foreign-based players are expected to join the team on Tuesday. Anna Shimrombedzi, ZBC News, Harare.
Harare Giants Caps United secured their first victory of the 2025 Casolaga Premier Soccer League season after beating Triangle by 2-0 at the Green Fuel Arena this Sunday.
New signing Juan Mutudza, starting for the first time, was in sublime form for Caps United, getting off the mark in style with a brace against Triangle. Mutudza scored his double in a space of 8 minutes in the first half and was enough to settle the match for the Green Machine. The win was enough to propel the Green Machine to 4 points after 3 rounds of matches, 3 points off the pace of log leaders Ngeze Platinum Stars as well as Mos FC. Meanwhile, at Sakupo Stadium, Manica Diamonds were precise to claim maximum points from ZPC Kariba. A veteran attacker, Evans Katema, was on target for Jairos Tapera's charges with 11 minutes left on the clock to propel his side to victory and move to 6 points on the league table after match day 3. Reynaud Ngwarati, ZBC News.
The Mbari Junior League 2025 season kicked off in Harare with budding players and coaches optimistic of a wholesome experience.
sematambira tichitiwa mugroundi kuti tikwanise wanouya wachizotiona wachitamba bhora wazotisimudzira kuenda kumberi.
As the Zimbabwe Junior League makes a return, junior footballers have expressed their desire to impress and charm local football clubs. While many come from underprivileged backgrounds, the budding talent is eyeing recognition from the Premier Soccer League clubs as well as the Zimbabwe Football Association to one day realize their dreams.
Simungatangiro kana mwana Dynamos atangira imomo matechitambiro chizoendaona na Dynamos zvikatazoendaona mabig teams.
Inoda kunge chitambiro Manchester United England.
The coaches are working flat out to improve the playing conditions to charm the big clubs. However, funding remains one key constraint.
Gore rino riri toda kuti tisimudzire vapana ivava bhora ravo riende mberi. Last year takanga tine same vapana ivava vakatamba bhora zvakanaka chaizvo, asi matambiro avo akaita tine mistakes atakaona kuti akadevelopa kubva muvapana. Saka this year toda kuti tichinjewo zvakare vave vanosimudzira kubva patakasiya last year.
These guys, they've been waiting for this and we have just kicked off. So we hope it will go well. Like what we did last year, it was not better.
Tinokumbirawo dai kune masponsor vari kunzeuko vanouyawo kuti vatisimudzire because zvishandiswa zvemubhora zvinodiwa zvakawanda hatina. Mabhora acho chaiwo hatina akakwana. Zvipfeko zvenhabvu chaizvo hatina zvakakwana.
The Zimbabwe Junior League 2025 season opener was marked by a 12-team tournament at the Stoddard grounds in Bare, with Sunningdale Pirates emerging the victors in the 12-team under-15 5-a-side turning. The Zimbabwe Junior League is a platform created to develop grassroots talent in Bare from under-10 up to under-17 level. Reynold Ngwarati, ZBC News, Harare.
A new era in Zimbabwean handball is set to begin with the launch of a national league by the Zimbabwe Handball Federation at the end of this month, and we get the details in the next report.
According to the Zimbabwe Handball Federation Secretary General Edson Chirodza, the league will feature 16 teams comprising 8 male and 8 female teams selected from the regional leagues.
We had 4 regions, Northern Region, Southern Region, Eastern Region and Central Region. So 2 top teams from each regional league from 2024 season are going to be taking part in the national league.
The competition is expected to run until November. In a bid to minimize costs, the league will be played in a bubble format with venues rotated throughout the season. This development is anticipated to revolutionize the local handball scene by fostering greater competition at the senior level. The winners of the National League will earn the right to represent Zimbabwe in the Regional Club Championship. Meanwhile, Zimbabwe is set to host the IHF Trophy Zone 6 Championship for women's under-18 and under-20 teams next month. The tournament serves as a qualifier for the World Youth and Junior Championships. Anna Shemurombedzi, ZBC News, Harare.
It's now time to find out what the weather conditions are in the way of the weather. Up next. Good evening, Zimbabwe, and welcome to tonight's weather report and forecast over fine well with a bit of moisture over areas such as Chinoy because of confluence of winds from the southeast as well as those from the ITCZ, whilst the rest of the areas such as Chimanimani, Chipinge had moisture mostly from the southeast, resulting in those significant falls over those southern areas. And as such, we still had that southeasterly push over much of the country, which resulted in cloudy conditions for much of the morning. However, towards evening, these winds were subsiding and hence the clouds were breaking. And as I can see, we still have more influence of the ITCZ over the northern parts, with more of the sunny breaks projected over the southern parts of the country, giving us warmer conditions than of late over those southern areas. Brief cloudy periods cannot be ruled out because of remnant moisture, but we're still expecting the ITCZ to be still active over those northern areas where we expect most of the falls. But for our evening temperatures, we're expecting cooler conditions over the southern parts where clouds should break, giving us warmer conditions by afternoon over those areas. So an intermittent area temperature difference over there, where Bulawayo is projected to be much warmer than of late, where we're expecting a maximum of 28 tomorrow. More sunny breaks projected over Matopo, also temperatures slightly increasing as well because of the sunny breaks, whilst Gwanda is also facing the same with more of the sunshine as we get into this week. Masvingo expecting brief cloudy periods at the start, but we're expecting more sunny breaks
breaks later on. And same for Gweru, we're expecting it to get a bit warmer as we get towards the weekend. For Kwekwe, we're expecting also to be warmer towards the weekend with a few cloudy breaks here and there. Same for Kadoma, we're expecting a bit of sunshine for the first few days. Sunshine in the Sunshine City is also projected there, whilst Chino is projecting a bit of sunny breaks here and there. Lupane projecting a bit of cloudiness because of proximity of the ITCZ into Victoria Falls. We're expecting isolated showers because of the influence of the ITCZ as well. Kariba also facing the same with more of the cloudiness over that area. Bindura projecting a bit of cloudy breaks here and there, and same for Marondera, where an odd shower too cannot be ruled out, but more of the sunshine projected for this week. Nyanga also facing the same with the return of moisture as we get into the weekend. That's all for our weather and forecast. It's been a pleasure, Zimbabwe. I'm James Kama Jr. for the Men Department.
Of the weather. Well, that's a wrap on the Sunday edition from us here in Pocketville, as well as Durang Lube from our Montreal studio. Tari?
Indeed. Now, as we continue to celebrate the month of women, we are still in March. We leave you watching the video of the week titled Our Territory, Zimbabwe, coming from Laina Mambokazi Zengea. Have a good night.
Good night.